It's the Playhouse Podcast with Kat and JJ.
Can't believe it. I missed everything.
Missed the show?
What am I going to do?
Check out the Daily Podcast.
You're having a fun time at the bar. It's you and your boyfriend, and some rando grabs your booty. What's the next move? Should your boyfriend be saying something? Should he be doing something? Is it up to you to say something? How do you handle this? It came up in one of our listeners' lives over the last weekend, and then we got some very, very good advice from another listener. If you missed it, you should hear it in the podcast. It's coming up in a couple seconds. Here we go. My daughter is a junior in college. She has a couple of friends that went to Japan for spring break. And that's a big deal when you're in college. To be able to make that kind of a trip. Now, I'm not saying a lot of our friends don't have parents with money, so let's just start there. So they go to Japan. They're hanging out. They're seeing the sights. They're being, touristy kind of people. They decide one day they're going to go on a hike, right? They're going to get up in the hills. Mm-hmm. She snaps her ankle, like a very, very bad break. She's now going to be there recovering for 6 weeks.
So someone had texted a good question. Why can't she just get a cast on and go home?
For whatever reason, they're there for 6 weeks. That's all I know. I don't know the details on that.
Okay.
So she's recovering in a hospital in Japan for 6 weeks. So I've got two questions. Number one, anybody ever been injured in a foreign country, and what was so different about it? Number two, this guy's the boyfriend, not a fiance, not a husband. Does he have to stay with her? That's 6 weeks off of his life. Now, he's in school.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, no. And I wouldn't feel right about having someone stay there.
Now, if it was your husband, probably got to stay with me, right?
If it won't we need the money to pay for what is happening. So if
you're going to leave somebody alone by themselves in Japan for 6 weeks.
I'm an adult female. I can handle myself.
She's 19 or 21.
But I'm saying I'm an adult female. My husband is going home. My husband will go home, take care of the house, bills, and go to work. Because who knows what this is going to do monetary wise. Could this devastate somebody?
I don't think either of these people are hurting for money, but
They're
6 weeks,
college students,
right? But 6 weeks of classes, 6 weeks of friends when you're 21, 6 weeks of the end of the spring semester.
Yeah,
these guys are graduating in a year. He needs these credits.
He's graduating in a year.
Maybe.
I'm sure there will be an allowance by where she goes to college. They're going to say, wow, these are weird circumstances, unforeseen, obviously.
Some profs are hard asses and they don't care.
This is a different thing that they probably have never dealt with. And if they have, maybe they have an idea of how to do it. But they're not going to have a student fall that far behind when they're willing to do the work across seas.
Felicia, thoughts on this?
So my husband was stationed in Japan. And I ended up in a Japanese hospital in ICU. I kid you not.
Oh, my God.
The room was no bigger than a gas station bathroom.
That's what they had said. The rooms are super small.
Yes. Not like the handicap stall. No, this was just like a regular stall in the bathroom.
Wow.
They kicked my spouse out.
Oh.
They kicked the translator out. Nobody was allowed to stay with me.
Interesting.
So what ended up happening? Did he stay at a hotel? Did he leave and go back home?
We were fortunate enough that he was stationed close to the base he was stationed at was close enough by that he could come back and visit. But our daughter was 7 at the time, so schematics between work and making sure she was taken care of and in school and all of that definitely wasn't easy on him. So we had definitely more things in our favor than this poor young lady does, but it was still a nightmare.
I mean, it's a nightmare to be in a foreign country and to get hurt. And I mean, like everybody complains about, our healthcare system here until you get to a place where it's either different or less. And then you're like, oh, my God, we had it so good back in the States. So, I guess my big question is, does he have to stay with her, in your opinion? Does he have to stay out these 6 weeks, or can he go home?
He should go home.
Yeah.
If he can afford to stay and it's not going to affect his studies, power to him. But at the end of the day, you're just a boyfriend. Like, unless you've been together for 10 years, dude, go home. Take care of what you can at home.
And what is he going to do? They're just going to get on each other's nerves in a very small room. And, like, what if they end up breaking up?
Even let him in to see her.
I can't imagine, like,
bedridden in the hospital.
But yeah, like maybe it's because I grew up in a military family and there's that always don't leave a soldier behind thing in my head, like never leave a friend behind. I could not imagine leaving somebody, even if they just are a boyfriend or a girlfriend, in a foreign country for another month and a half to heal without staying there. And I'm not the most noble guy in the history of the world, but yeah, I would have a tough time leaving somebody behind in Japan.
You wouldn't be able to leave Trisha behind.
Definitely not an easy
Well, Trisha,
decision.
I could.
Oh,
not
but
like a friend,
people.
not like a friend. But I just leaving somebody behind for 6 weeks. Like, it doesn't sound big when you say it 6 weeks, but it's a month and a half. That means she's not back until May. Like, she's not back until almost Mother's Day.
That's terrifying.
That
I know.
For her being young.
Right? And she doesn't speak the language, right? Like, so, like,
And she could be
That's
agreeing.
the worst part, because their language can sometimes come off as very intimidating.
Yeah, and they don't have like
especially when it's medical professionals.
a hospital translator for you, or I mean, they could be talking this 19-year-old girl into something that will cost her a lot of money.
she'll end up with a lobotomy.
Yeah.
The one thing that is really good is that Japanese healthcare, insurance-wise, they are leaps and bounds above where we are.
All right.
Okay.
Well, this is interesting. I'm assuming as soon as we said it's Japan, you're laid up in the hospital, you were like, oh my God, this is hitting a little close to home.
I don't envy her or the boyfriend. I can't even imagine. She's got to be just terrified.
Okay, you want to hear why this guy was puking?
Yes.
So, yesterday, I'm on my way home, going to grab some lunch, take care of a couple things before baseball practice. I see this truck pulled over on the side of the road, and I'm like, oh, he's probably got problems. Maybe I can give him a ride to the next town, whatever the deal is. And I pull over, and as I'm approaching this truck, I see this guy dressed really nicely, kind of business attire, just puking his guts out in the ditch. And I'm like, dude, are you all right? And he goes, yeah, it's family problems.
Oh no.
And
So he was like stress barfing, or
yeah,
like
you'll know when I get to it
Okay.
here. And I go, anything I can do for you? Do you need a ride anywhere? Now, if I've got anything going on in my life, I prefer, and this is my old man in me, to gut it and take care of it myself. Rarely will I tell a stranger about anything. I'd never seen this man in my entire life. And he goes, I went home to grab something and found my wife with our elderly neighbor.
oh, his world fell apart.
And
That's why.
and I said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Is there anything I can do?" And then he goes, "This guy is Clint Eastwood old." That was the phrase he used. He's Clint Eastwood old.
Does he have Clint Eastwood money? 'Cause that's the only way I'd get with him.
I don't know. And again, just judging by his age, I'm guessing his wife was probably also in her early to mid 30s.
No.
And he walked in on his wife and Clint Eastwood, old guy, the
This
neighbor.
man on the side of the road
told
you this?
me this, and I'm like, what do you say? I was absolutely just blown away. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, all I could offer him was a ride somewhere.
Wow.
And he goes, no, I'll pull it together. And I said, you're sure everything's all right? And he goes, yeah. But he was physically puking his guts out.
Wow.
Because he had went home to grab something midday, and this is 12:30. Walks in on the wife and grandpa.
Yeah. What a visual.
And that's all I could think about the rest. I woke up, first thought, before I even got in the shower this morning. I'm like, I wonder how that guy's doing this morning.
I've never had something like that trigger a vomit reflex of just seeing something. Like Liam had that at Disney,
Yeah.
where we were at the old-fashioned drive-in movie diner, and you got to sit in like a fake car and watch a show. And they brought a burger, and the burger had onions. He didn't even eat it. He didn't bite it. He just looked at it and projectile vomited.
I felt so
So-
bad for that guy. It broke my heart.
What would
Seemed like a nice dude.
do it for you that your body would, probably any terrible news about your family?
Yeah, right. I mean, that's obviously, but like a compound fracture, When I was playing football, I played with a guy that had a compound fracture of his, whatever, is a tibia or fibia, but it's like that shin bone.
Yeah.
And it poked through the skin. And that got me to the point where I had to walk away. I was going to throw up.
Oh, man. I wonder what would do it for me, because I watch Dr. Pimple Popper.
I can watch that.
I can watch people vomit. Like, I watched that Tracy Morgan video too many times. So I don't know what it would take, but probably like you, bad family news, but
so
poor guy.
Yeah, I woke up this. So if you're listening, I don't know what his name is. Obviously, I didn't ask. I didn't want to know any more information. You know what I mean? But hang in there, brother. Like, that's all I could say was like, all right, it's going to be okay. Fully well knowing it's not going to be okay for a long time. Like, it's going to be a rough moment in this man's life.
I can't imagine going home to a dwelling that you share with somebody and like probably going to carry it into his next relationship.
Oh my God.
Always wondering if he's going to go home and catch his next person.
And it seemed like the guy was having to go back to work yet. Imagine having to go back to your job.
You got to call in.
What do you call in and say? I caught my wife sleeping with her grandpa.
You say exactly that, and then you'll probably get a couple of days off.
How was your birthday?
It was good. It was very routine, which, as I've gotten older,
at your age,
love.
that's good.
Oh, I embrace it. I love it. I went and got a car wash with your lovely gift, and then I had a little Target trip. I'm like, girl, treat yourself. So I just walked around. Have you ever done Target where you had the only two things I needed to get were mozzarella and chicken breast, but everything else, I was like, maybe I'll go down this aisle.
I've never once done that in my entire life. I hear people like, oh, I went to the mall and just walked. I've never once just gone somewhere because I had nothing else to do.
Really?
Yeah,
it was nice. I had like an hour to kill before getting Liam from school. And I'm like, girl, get a Starbucks and walk around Target. And I did. And I spent probably $60 that I didn't need to, but
that's
it felt
the danger.
Good.
I've always known that.
It felt good. It's stuff that I needed. I got gold little bunnies for right by my TV for Easter.
Yeah.
So I needed those.
Who needs a gold bunny?
Yeah, I needed one of those veggie choppers that I've seen on TV.
We had one of those.
My life is going to be so much easier. I won't have to sit there and like cry with
it
the
lasts
onions.
for like 6 weeks.
Is it because of the smashing?
It is just junk.
Oh.
It doesn't work.
Well, it was $22. And then I got a candle and got some eyebrow tint. I don't know. It was a good Target trip.
Eyebrow tint? Don't you just use mascara?
On my eyelashes?
No, on your eyebrows, don't you?
Why would I use mascara?
So
on
there's
my
an actual
eyebrows?
thing. Is I just thought people like you were up there by your eyes. I thought you would just color in your eyebrows with your eyebrows with the eyelash stuff. That's not how that works.
Sit down, take the day off.
So eyebrow tint.
Yeah, it looks like a mini. So I'll give it to you. It looks like a mini mascara wand, but does the eyebrows.
Huh.
Anyway, sorry to blow your mind this early. Got Liam from school, gave us facials because his teen nose needed it. You know, he's got the sports sweats on his nose, and so fixed that up.
The worst is for the hockey players because they always get the chin strap, and it's
up hard. By the hairline, I bet. And then watched Miss Congeniality 2. I made dinner, a little RHOBH, and then I need you to tell me.
RHOBH?
Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Oh, sorry. Jeez, I'm really behind everything today.
I got to ask you, my Aunt Kathy called me because I'm throwing a baby shower for someone that I love who's having a baby. And she calls me and says, hey, I'm knitting these mini hats because we know the baby is going to be a boy. So these tiny mini blue hats.
Like for the Nation of Islam, like Scully's?
I don't know how to describe. They look like winter hats, but they're so tiny they'd fit a mouse. Okay. And so she made a bunch that go over booze bottles. Guess what shots she got?
Rum shotta.
You know those swimmer shots that look like men's swimmers?
Oh, yeah.
That are up by the register?
Yeah.
She got 25 of those. And she's going to put these little blue hats on top of them.
Funny.
I don't know if it's going to land.
I think it'll be all right.
Because we're at a pretty hoity-toity place for this baby shower, and my person is like really, wanting it to be a classy event. So I'm like, maybe I'll put it in the gift bags. You know what I mean? I think maybe I'll
put them out. Stop being such a priss.
Should I put them next to the name tag?
Yes, that's funny. It's funny.
See, obviously we've learned what I think is funny.
How scared of you are. You're so scared of this human being. I rarely see you in this form. You're very scared.
I want it to be a classy event too, so they're all getting gift bags. So
it's not like you're throwing like giant posters of naked men up on the wall.
She called me and I'm like, this woman will never be mature. Like, she's in her 70s.
I like her.
Yeah, she's cool.
No, this is your cousin that's getting married?
My cousin Dana getting married this summer, and she sent the invite. On the invite was a QR code to her Amazon registry, Target, and then it had this link to sign her up for all these different weeks of her to go to this place. It's kind of like a Let's Dish where you make your own meals, freezer meals, and it's because there's been this running joke, I guess. Her fiance said she can't cook, that he's marrying her for...
She must be hot.
Yeah, she's cute. And so he's like, she just can't cook, honestly. Cannot. She could put a pizza in. She could order tacos. She just cannot make other foods.
Tony, is this you? You're the world's worst cook?
Yeah, I'm pretty bad, dude.
Give me an example. How bad is it?
All right. So I lived with my girlfriend when I was 19. And we lived with her parents. I said, you know what? I'm going to make dinner tonight. Big mistake, because I was making some stir fry. Her mom had brand new pans. I did the rice. I burnt it so bad, and I tried to cover it up, and I used the other new pan, and I burnt that one so bad that like they were unusable.
Oh my God.
And she was super pissed.
Yeah.
How do you burn a pan so bad? You just walk away from it, or what?
You know, I don't know if I put enough water, and then the rice just literally stuck to the pan so bad you couldn't even scrape it out. It was just a disaster.
And did they have the really high-end stuff so you knew that this was costly?
The Teflon.
Oh, yeah, they were wealthy. The mom was so pissed.
No.
Sure. And did you end up getting them like a different pan? You went out and bought it, or were you just like,
Oh,
don't
you was
let me cook
19.
again?
I'm guessing you had no money.
No, I didn't. I didn't have enough money to buy a pan. I was like, yeah, it's SOL for you, I guess. Huh?
Oh my God, they're a TJ Maxx.
Have you escalated your game? Is this something you've decided to work on, or are you just committed to being horrible?
No, I'm actually like the primary dinner maker at my house. So I'm actually pretty good now. But
Learn from your mistakes kind of thing, huh?
Exactly.
I got you. Hey, thanks for the story, man. Have a great day.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care. I want to get Katie on here real quick because you're a pretty bad cook, too. You want to tell us what's going on?
I am not allowed to cook at all anymore because of this. I once actually burned water, if you can believe it.
How do you burn water?
I don't believe it.
Yeah, how does this happen?
I know. Oh, okay. So I set a pot of water to boil. I'm making hard-boiled eggs, right? Okay. And someone comes to the door, and they're like, they have this super long pitch, and I get completely wrapped up in it, and I totally forget. So as they are leaving, I smell what smells like fire. So I turn around, and I go back to the kitchen, and the entire stove, it seems like to me, the entire stove is like engulfed in smoke.
Oh, my God.
Once everything was cleaned up, I called my husband. We got it taken care of. We didn't have to get the fire department out or anything.
Yeah.
But it turns out that the water had completely evaporated and the pot just like caught fire.
You were gone for a while.
God, how long did that? That's crazy. I've never even heard of anything like this before.
Is this can't be your first kitchen oops, huh? Is this something that's a thing?
No, I have pretty decent ADHD, so the hyper focus. I've burnt many a pan bottom. Usually I set a timer, but in this case, like I stepped outside to speak to the person, and I'm like, just not kitchen minded.
I want to get your thoughts on what's going on with Ashley because you're a little upset, right?
Yeah, I'm actually really so heated about this. We were out of the bar the other night having a good time, and this freaking random dude grabs my ass in front of my boyfriend. I even tell him about it. He doesn't do anything.
Wow.
Literally nothing.
What does that say? Doesn't that just automatically say to you that there's like the interest is fading? That's what I get.
Well, I mean, you don't want this guy to shoot somebody or stab somebody. I mean, were you thinking that he was going to punch him or at least yell at him or what?
I just wanted him to freaking defend my honor.
Yes.
To tell him to keep his hands to himself.
Yep.
And what does your boyfriend say when you told him how mad you were?
He just said, I'm just trying to avoid violence, baby. I love you. You're a modern woman.
This is interesting.
It's the fact that someone touched, and I hate using this word, but his property. Like, he loves you. You are his. If a girl touched him, he's yours. You would have said something.
Oh, I would be all over that.
Yeah. Hoops off, Vaseline in the face.
So the question really is he wrong for just completely walking away here? Should have there been some kind of confrontation? Like, if he'd at least yelled at the guy, that would have made you happy?
Yes, it did. It said, back the off, dude.
Yeah.
Or step away. That's modern. That's a modern woman. I will let you defend me. That's modern, in my opinion.
So let's turn this over to listeners right now. As you're listening to this, especially if you're a woman, how would have you wanted your guy to respond to this?
So I would want him to respond with, what do you think you're doing? However, I have a man that is not confrontational in that way, where it might lead to him getting hurt. But I think he would be supportive, like, man, I see why he would hit on you. You're looking good today.
Kim, how would have you wanted your man to respond to this action?
Well, I would have expected him to say something. I mean, maybe not go, try and be violent with him. But my question would be, what did she do? Did she stick up for herself? Did she say something?
Okay.
I was just recently in Florida and had some old drunken man at the bar making some inappropriate comments to me. And my partner was there, and he's pretty passive. He didn't hear it, but I stuck up for myself. He had said something about his schmutz to me, and I was just like, that's rude. Don't talk.
He said something about his...
Is that what you call it? I've never heard it called that way.
Did you say schmutz?
No, I just didn't know if I could say it on the radio.
Oh, well, you're the best.
I get it.
You.
Okay, now I get what you're saying. I fully understand. Yep.
Right,
okay. Anyways, and so you stand up for yourself. But now let's just say your partner would have heard this. What would have you wanted that response to be?
I would have wanted him to say something like, hey, don't talk to my lady like that.
Right.
Gotcha.
Afterwards, I told him what he said, and he's like, oh, that wasn't that bad. And I was like, yes, it was. It was in front of you. That's rude. That is not okay for somebody to do that or behave that way. Grow up.
I like that. So you're like, all right, take action yourself and hope you get some backup.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, gotcha.
He should have said something to him.
Yeah,
sometimes it is a big impact when a woman will stick up for herself. And I don't live for it, but I love to embarrass men because they come off so in your face and cocky. If they were to say, I don't embarrass a guy just because, but if they are saying stuff about their stuff in front of me and it is bothering me, you just got to, make a comment about how you can't quite see it because it's so small. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
You got to hit him where it hurts.
Kat's got preloaded responses for this stuff.
Yeah, I do.
All right, good stuff. Hey, thanks, Kim. I appreciate your call. I hope you have a great morning.
Bingo! How fun!
Last week, someone lost an eye at bingo.
Bingo! Bingo what bingo?
Bingo! Bingo!
All right, so maybe, and since Jet over here is the first caller through, let's see which one he fits. Is he somebody listening who
has a story about a scary toy? So something happened with a toy at home, kind of spooked you.
And describe this toy again. It's a
Monster High doll, but nobody really did their research as to what it's modeled after. So it's modeled after a Philippine folklore where this monster feeds on the hearts of unborn children.
It sounds innocent enough.
Yeah. So,
and I'm on the hunt for anyone listening who has been to jail over the last year. I got an email from an old college friend yesterday who wants to reconnect, but he put in the email that he had just gotten out of jail.
Okay.
So I kind of hit pause on that one. I thought I got to think about this one for a second.
It's a little judgy.
It's a little judgy, yeah, but why do you lead with that? Again, that could have been like, hey, I haven't seen you in years.
Yeah.
Anyways, Jet, you been to jail lately, or you got the weird toy?
I'm talking to the radio.
Oh, I'm talking to the radio.
Who's bothering you there? Is that mom?
Oh, sorry, it's my little brother.
Okay, well, tell him to get lost. So, I'm guessing since you're only 13, you haven't been to jail lately.
No.
Okay, tell us about the toy.
So, when I was younger, I used to really like Pikachu toys.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I bought one. It was like an electronic one, and it was like you would push a button, and its ears would pop up, and it would say something, or something like that. But I remember one day I was playing with my brothers outside, and it like made like I pressed the button and it started like groaning and making really weird like distorted sounds.
Okay.
And it like scared the crap out of me and my brothers.
No doubt.
Now, it was probably just the battery was dying, I'm assuming, but nonetheless.
Yeah,
it was...
it probably was. I mean, I actually still have it somewhere. But, yeah, it was definitely just the battery dying, but it still scared me and my brothers so much.
And you still have it, though, even though it's a very, very scary toy.
Yeah, I mean, it's been like 6 years, so I know that it was just a battery or whatever.
Gotcha.
And it's not that scary anymore, but it was still scary at the time nonetheless.
Well, I'm glad that you got an e-learning day so you could call us this morning. I hope you have a great day.
Yeah, you too.
All right, so Robert De Niro, play this audio. He is loving hanging out with his child, who's very young, but is trying to get used to the shows that they watch.
The Wiggles, Miss Rachel, Blippi, and there's others that people have been throwing at me, but those are the ones. Yeah. Especially the Wiggles at this point.
Love the Wiggles.
The Wiggles, that's old school. So your kid used to love your kids, The Bear in the Big Blue House, right?
Bear in the Big Blue House was it. I loved it because it just worked on levels. There was so many cool characters. They had Trilo and Pip and Pop, and I loved that show. I was completely cool with that show.
All right. Well, Liam was a Caillou kid until we just couldn't stand it anymore. The kid always talked back to his parents, and we did not approve of that. And then what else did he love? He loved Paw Patrol. He loved PJ Masks. That was a big one. What else did he love? He just had like a slew of... I loved The Baby and Little Einsteins. Like, parents are like, I don't want my kid to have screen time. It's very, very good and very educational. So
very, very good.
Very good.
Hey,
Lack of better word.
Mallory, what's playing in your house right now?
We watch Bluey all the time.
You do.
Explain.
So does my niece.
Yeah.
Explain Bluey to somebody who's never seen it before. I've never seen Bluey.
Okay, Bluey is an Australian cartoon. They're all dogs, and they talk. And it's actually very, like, moral of the story type kind of a cartoon, but it's super relatable, and it's just the cutest thing.
Okay.
And Bluey is the big sister. Bingo's the little sister. And I have two girls, and they love being Bingo and Bluey.
How old are your kids?
My older daughter's 11. My younger daughter is 5.
Okay, so the 11-year-old's about ready to just outgrow that, right?
A little bit, yeah. She plays along with the 5-year-old.
Oh, you got a good thing going there. That's pretty rare, I think. So this hasn't gotten to a point where it's annoying you yet?
No, like me and my husband could literally watch it by ourselves. It's a good show.
Now, my wife and
I've had those moments where it's the kid's gone and you're just like zoning out.
And you just keep going.
Yeah.
My wife, no, this happens. So our kids are, my youngest is 17, but the one that really loved Bear in the Big Blue House is now 22. And my wife and I, this was about 3 or 4 years ago. There was no one in the house. It was like a Sunday afternoon. We had nothing going on, and we're flipping through the channels. And Bear in the Big Blue House was playing, and we like nostalgically watched a full episode of it just because we had spent so much time watching that with our oldest kid, and it was crazy. We sat there, nobody said anything. We just watched a full, 18 minutes of Bear in the Big Blue House, and it was like you had little kids again. It was crazy. Bluey seems to be the most common answer, and a lot of people like him except for Stefan, right? You're not into this anymore?
Just because it's on in the background all the time and it's driving me crazy.
Is it the accent?
No, I love Australian accent.
So Bluey it's cute. It has like life lessons that as an adult you can watch and be like, oh, they might be teaching them something that'll sink in. Where like PJ Masks, I'm like, there's no way that he can turn everyone into ice. You know what I mean? So they might be learning something.
And how old are your kids?
He just turned 3.
Oh, you've got years of Bluey ahead of you, man. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
What makes mom and dad weird? Like, the older we get, and especially if you're in that, like, your kids, have grandma, grandpa, and Nana, Papa, whatever you want to call them. You go back there every once in a while. Your kids don't notice that your parents had gotten weird as they got older, but you definitely notice little things. So over the past weekend, we're at a St. Patty's pub crawl, and I'm talking to another guy who had coached his son in baseball, and he knows that both of my parents had passed, but he was talking about his mom and dad, and he goes back and sees them. They live like an hour and a half away. And he noticed that his mom now doesn't take used dishes and put them in the sink or the dishwasher. She leaves them next to the sink if they're not very dirty so she can reuse them.
Yeah. Okay.
His father, he starts going through this laundry list, unsolicited, of what makes his parents weird. His dad has a cold glass of water in the refrigerator at all times in case he's thirsty.
That's so weird. I was going to say that my grandmother has a cold glass of orange juice, and I don't know if this glass has been washed, maybe like once a quarter, that she'll wash it and put it back in there. She just keeps filling it up with orange juice.
And then he said there's also wet washcloths everywhere at his parents' place because all they do, now that they're retired, all they do is walk around and clean surfaces. And he was just kind of going in. I thought, well, this would be kind of fun to talk about what makes your parents weird.
Okay, you ready?
Break it down.
I think we know my mom. My mom is not a doctor, but she will diagnose everybody. She knows exactly what's going on. If someone walks by, she's like, mer, mer, mer. You know, and she'll do this, mer, mer, mer. And then she also has like no nail on her big toe. And so she will tell the nail technician, just paint a square. And she always gets a burgundy color.
I've never heard of this before.
Yeah, so she has a skin square that she paints. My dad is just a totally different monster. He's just, putters around the house every day. His dog is his best friend. It's cute, but
you talk to it like a baby.
Absolutely. Long, probably actually like human conversations.
Does the dog sit there and look at him while he's talking?
They are.
Well, shame on the dog. It should know better.
Two best friends, but my dad will wait on Wednesdays at the bay window until he sees the garbage truck. My dad has one of those measuring sticks to make sure that he's not the one that they talk about when they get the trucks back. Like
he's got like a yardstick to make sure it's that far away from the curb.
Yes, because he's had a in length conversation with the garbage man. Where would you like these? And then he also thinks that the mailman has all the time in the world. I called him yesterday. I said, "What have you been up to?" He goes, "Oh, I just talked to the mailman for about 20 minutes."
They gotta love that.
Mailman?
Yeah, I bet you they love that.
Be.
I know, but I bet you they love a little human communication throughout the day.
Oh, but he wears the same thing every single day. He has a gray sweatsuit, and it's the same one. It's not like the same style in 5 different pairs.
It's just the same one until it gets dirty. They get thrown through the wash.
No, he's like a creature of habit. He'll take it off. He'll put his pajama set on, and he'll go downstairs and he'll wash it every single night. And it's like Doug. Have you ever seen that cartoon, Doug? Where he has the same outfit every single day, but he's always clean, always has his hair done, his nails are cut, and so... Can't really say too much, but yeah.
Got a text from Lisa. My parents grill inside all winter long, inside the garage.
Inside the garage?
God, that's got a giant fire written all over it, doesn't it?
Can't imagine what the lungs look like.
What do your parents do that just makes them a little bit weird?